We're here with Tabletop Interviews for TotalCon. I'm Peter Bryant with Solarian Games, and I am here with Nyx
Hi.
of
Resonant
Moon. Yeah, we just said this. Resonant Moon, yes. So you're become a regular guest at TotalCon.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's your fault.
I'm sorry. No. So when did that start? Because I was actually, don't take this the wrong way, I was surprised when I found out that you were a guest, and then I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that makes sense. So when did that happen? Because I'm trying to remember.
So let's see here. It was around 2012. I was actually helping out a vendor, and so working the booth, and ended up being in a GM-less game. And I was already watching Mythwits and things like that, so I saw your live show, and I had recognized you from Balticon, so I was like, hey, it's weird seeing you here, but kind of awesome. So then got to know people and started doing streamed live plays on Twitch with other people because they figured out, oh, this person knows how to tell stories.
Right.
So a couple of people at Balticon had caught some of my live plays, and I had suggested some games that nobody else was doing. So they were like, yeah, you can come and run a game or two. And then I think that was one year you noticed that I was doing that, so you were like, hey, come run games with us. You had approached me about game school as well.
That's correct, yeah.
At Balticon. So that really brought me into the sphere to the point where at one point I was no longer a co-host. I was the only host of game school.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what am I going to do? And it was 2020. So we were all kind of...
trapped.
So we had the last TotalCon in 2020,
before
everything
before.
shut down.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a interview series where I workshop a one-page role-playing game with all these other GMs that I've been getting to know. And the reason being is that I like games that are super accessible. Crunchy games are very difficult for me. That was kind of my big hang-up in game school. So our dearly departed friend James, he was the one who was reading all the rules, and I was the one doing the playthrough.
It's what I call he's a gaming gearhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I started looking at one-page role-playing games like The Witch is Dead, Honey Heist, Lasers and Feelings, because they were easy to access. And easy to understand. And I also like the GM-less games that we learned about with interviewing people like Graham and Children of the Fall and things like that. So I wanted to combine the two. So with these workshops, we focused on making it really simple, making fun scenarios for people to play out, and then also, if I can, make them GM-less. And I've been constructing them for so long and refining them that I suggested a couple years ago, why not do a panel on it? Nobody else wanted to do it, so it became a workshop.
Okay.
And everybody who was at the workshop, I think I had 7 people, we all contributed to make this one game.
Okay.
So this year I'm playtesting the game.
Nice.
And
is that the one you showed me?
Yes.
Okay.
So that one is called Cocoonuts.
Cocoonuts, right.
And I'm looking forward to making more of these short form games to, put up for free, have people play test them so I can refine it more, and then maybe have a book where if you're hanging out with your friends and something boring's going on and you just want to hang out for a few hours, you can pull out this book and have an easy game that you can just open
that's interesting. So
and play.
It wouldn't be a game book. It would be like a game Bible.
A game anthology.
A game anthology, right.
Yeah.
Where you flip through and every page is a new game that you could play.
Do I want to be a ghost hunter? Do I want to be an astronaut? Do I want to be a little cute woodland creature?
Now, when you say one page, does it always have to be exactly one page, or is one sheet of paper count?
One sheet of paper counts in my book.
Right.
The way I like to do it is I have either all the GM stuff on one side and all the player stuff on the other side, or I'll have the premise on one side and then the rules on the other side.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Depending on if there is a.
So there's a couple ways you could lay that out, right? You could have it so that, I mean, you could have like, so you could take the cover, right? And you could have like it would be like your DM's cover, and on the other side would be the player's cover, and you could flip through the book either way. That would be one way. It would be kind of neat, right?
That would be brilliant.
Yeah.
See, and that's where one of the things I love about coming to TotalCon is that I meet with people who have different areas of expertise. So like layout, I would not have thought of that. I think very small and detail oriented, where other people have a bigger picture.
Yeah, I'm always like a giant
view.
picture person.
And I love that because it complements each other so well.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best things about everybody here is that we are all complementing each other, learning from each other, and possibly making collaborations that are going to be amazing to see unfold.
I would think that, to sum it up at TotalCon when you're hanging out with the people here, because it's just super friendly, just throughout. Like, I've never had a bad experience.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had to deal with some drunk people in the past, but I mean, I don't really consider that a bad experience. It's just somebody getting a little out of hand. People do it. But the fact that it's not yes, but there's a lot of yes and. It's more yes and less yes but. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that improvising nature is something that you can always take into other aspects of your life. But it all starts with gaming. And I also love that people can put gaming aspects on their resume if they want to.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, so I work for the Army. I actually wound up getting a project where I actually made a board game for one of the Army entities to train with.
Oh, wow.
So they're using this board game to train with. Now, they came to me with all of how it had to work because it was a training asset. And I can't even play the game. I basically just made all the assets for him. I asked him, what does it need to do? What is the feel, and gaming construction ideas. Like, he wanted a spinner. And I was like, no, you don't want a spinner because spinners break and they're expensive. And you're talking about soldiers. It's like that spinner will be dead in a week.
Yeah.
I was like, you want cards, and that's how you randomize. And I can control the appearance of the randomization by the number of cards and the number of this card that you have. So if you say this is a rare thing, then we'll have a few of those. But if it's a common thing, we'll have more of them. And that covers, all of this. And he was just like, oh, that's brilliant. I never would have thought of that. I was like, I know, you're not a game designer. You're not supposed to think of that. It's not supposed to be your thing. You're supposed to do this. The thing that I can't even do. I don't even know how to do this.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about, making games. You can either go super big or super small with them. You can incorporate a lot of those randomizers. I got to listen into your interview with Alan yesterday, and one of the things he said really stuck with me as far as what I enjoy about the challenge of writing a simple game is you want it to be all on one page, or as he said, on the back of a box.
Yeah, on the back of a box, right.
So that's kind of where I come from because I want it. Accessibility is a bigger thing for me.
Sure.
I work in audiobooks as my day job, and I still want to work with game designers if they have these bigger, crunchier books to have an audio companion to it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was cutting you off there.
That's okay.
I got excited.
It is exciting. I'm still working out who I can partner with and how I can do it because I have experience as a narrator, but mostly I work on the back end of audiobooks, and I really think that would make a lot of different games much more accessible to more people who want to be role playing.
Yeah, because we talked about this before, and I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And but you haven't found an interested party to work with
Not
yet on
yet,
that?
no.
Okay. All right. Well, we have to think about that because I think it's a great idea.
So if you're interested in it,
reach
out to me. I'm on Twitch. I'm on Blue Sky.
Because it doesn't have to be verbatim. It doesn't have to be the front of the book to the end of the book by verbatim. Like, all right, now I'm in a chart. Handgun does 3.8. You don't have to do all that, right? You could come up with an agreement on what you're going to recite in the audio, and they'll still need the book. Because like again, you're not like charts and stuff. Like to read the audio of charts is mind numbing.
It can be, depending on the game. The other portion is if you have a PDF, you can create a link for each section, and you can click on the link to hear the audio.
But and what I was thinking is another thing you could do if there was additional information you wanted to include for people trying to understand, because that's why they'd be doing this. They'd be wanting to understand the rules or whatever. You may have a bunch of stuff that you didn't want to write down in the book, but it's like commentary. So you could do commentary, whereas like, this is the rule, blah, blah, blah. And this is how we came up with this rule or why this rule is this way and not another way, or whatever. You could add commentary. I really think there's a lot of potential.
So I think the commentary would be good, but that would be more of a behind the scenes kind of thing, kind of like the Lord of the Rings extended edition, blah, blah, blah.
Sure, yeah.
Because if you're trying to teach people the game, you want to keep it as concise as possible.
True. You don't want
it to get super crunchy, right, and have all this extra information that nobody needs to play the game.
Right.
But having that behind the scenes stuff would actually be a lot of fun.
Right.
Especially if you've got like a mascot character, you can have that mascot character be like, I did this because...
Right. Yeah. Or like, depending on the feel of the game, like if you were doing like a cyberpunk game, not cyberpunk, if you're doing like a steampunk game, right? You could have like talking through one of those old style radios.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We decided to do this because... Right?
Yeah.
Nah, see?
One of the trans radios.
Yeah. That'd be cool. So that's really good stuff. Which leads me to another thing. So you have your one-page games,
yes,
which is awesome. But you also do other things that are kind of tangential to the gaming industry. I mean, maybe even directly involved sometimes, but like your audio work.
Yeah, so I do a lot of audiobook editing and production. And what that entails is that the narrator will send me their files. I will check them for accuracy, for sounds, and I'll get them all to Audible standards.
Right.
And I also do some narration as well. But the biggest thing that I do is live playthroughs, because sometimes the biggest way to get somebody interested in a game is for them to see how other people play it and other people having fun with it.
Sure.
And I have facilitated that both as a player and as a GM. But the GMs that I have been a player for know that I go super extra because I know I'm on camera.
Right. So like you did, like Penny for a Tale is one of the big ones, right?
Yeah, Penny for a Tale and Weave the Tale, they're one and the same.
Okay. Did they change names, or is it just...
No, they created a duplicate channel.
Okay.
And I did a Thirsty Sword Lesbians campaign with them, which was a lot of fun, and I was able to pull in a couple of bigger names for that because a lot of people were hyped up about the game, but they've never played it.
Right.
So I got like Pip Ballantyne.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I got Roxy Fox and a couple of others.
Now I know Pip.
Yeah.
She's a writer. For any of you guys out there, she's
a
steampunk
writer, but she also has been doing the Alien series.
Oh, okay. That's a good gig.
Yeah.
So who's this? Who's the second person? Because I don't know that person.
Roxy is a model and also does a lot of role playing on Twitch. But does a lot of modeling and makeup tutorials and things like that.
Okay.
Other things that I've been doing that are in the same sphere are really like writing streams and bringing people into the creation process. So I'll have on my lo-fi music in the background and I will let chat help me out and be like, okay, I want to do a randomizer for somebody's appearance. I need suggestions on what appearance is going to be. I'll be like, I'm going to roll a D8 for it, so I need 8 options. Let's go.
Right.
It's a very community building kind of project, and at the same time, you get different perspectives that me, from my own experience, I may not have.
Right. Yeah. I like collaborating a lot.
Do too.
I really do. My biggest flaw when it comes to collaborating is I don't say no enough, and I overcommit myself. As a matter of fact, that was one of the things we identified when we restructured Solarian. So we went from being TSR to Solarian.
Yeah.
We had some very serious talks about, all right, what are we doing wrong as TSR that we're not going to bring with us into Solarian?
Yeah.
And one of the major things was spreading ourselves too thin, which is why, unfortunately, we cut all podcasting.
Yep.
I mean, other than we're doing Tabletop Weekly now, but that is an extremely low production. We spend an hour on that show. That's it. There's really honestly no real editing. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And so when we only started doing that because we were trying to drive engagement. But yeah, we canceled all the other stuff. I mean, that wasn't the only thing. We canceled a bunch of other things. We were working on an app for an iPhone, or not for iPhone, but for phone. It was going to be this, I'm not going to go into it because we might still do it. But we were working on an app. We canceled that project for now, put it on back burner. And just a bunch of stuff, because we're like, we want to do too many things.
But that's really important for anybody who's doing any kind of creative project, is to, one, make sure you have your boundaries in place. What are your priorities, and stick to those priorities. And two, make sure you know your scope so that you don't have any scope creep, because that's how you get to that point of burnout. I wasn't able to be here last year, not because of burnout, but because of surgery.
Right.
But I was getting to that point where I was like, I'm doing the same game over and over. So having that year break really revitalized me for this year. And I'm only running 2 games this year, but I also have the panels that I'm on and the workshop that I'm running.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So tell me about your panels. What are you doing panels-wise?
So I'm doing the 1-page role-playing game workshop again.
Good. All right, so this year it's going off.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And I've got a lot of people signed up, which is very intimidating.
Is that today?
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow.
That's
okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
So tomorrow morning, I have about 25 people who signed up for this workshop. So I don't think we're going to be creating a one game, but I may split people up into groups and say, here's your challenge. Create a randomizer, create a setting, and so on. And then we'll talk about it afterwards. If you all decide to publish it, awesome. If you don't, but you want me to try to publish it, I can work on it and say that I edited it from this. And maybe at one point I'll have a anthology of TotalCon games made at TotalCon.
Nice. That would be cool.
That would be fun. The other one is another thing that I am known for, which is running a game with 0 prep time.
Oh, yeah.
I am the queen of
pull it out your butt.
running a game with half an hour's notice.
Right.
Literally, that was one of the things that Weave the Tale would always do with me, is be like, hey, this GM dropped out. Do you know anything about this game? I can figure it out.
Right.
And I will spend half an hour doing a deep dive into this game, watching it play through, and be like, okay, I think I've got the basics.
We're doing something like that. We're doing, it's not quite the same. It's similar in that this year I'm going to go to Rising Phoenix.
Yeah.
And we're going to have an event that we're doing, and it's going to be one of those, what is the charity one, the Half-Life.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
got it.
So we're doing that. We're doing an event there. And the reason why it's, you say no prep. This isn't no prep. It's more like Iron GM-ish. The people watching, it's going to be live streamed, and the people watching it can buy things for the GM to throw into the adventure.
I love
So they're
those.
gonna sell stuff like, a new enemy shows up, like, okay, you guys are.
I love those challenges.
Right.
Those are great.
No, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Sometimes they'll have things like, because I've done a few of those for Extra Life, and we'll have somebody gets advantage on a roll.
Yeah.
I've done it with Thirsty Sword Lesbians.
Right.
So a crush arrives.
Yeah.
What else? Somebody's clothes fly off, stuff like that.
But I'm really good at the same, like you. I'm very good at the improvisation. if somebody throws a thing in there. Because there's been times where, I would be running an adventure, and this is even at a con, where somebody said, it'd be really cool as if this happened. And I'm like, haha, that just happened. Because you're right, it would be really cool.
Yep.
So now it's happening.
Yep.
And then I'm like, and I may not say that to them. I might be like, how did you know? You know what I mean?
No, I totally own up to it. And I'm just like, you know what? Yes, it does happen.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me how.
Oh, that's good. That's actually really good.
Because I need to take a breath and process.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, why don't you unwrap this present and we'll go with it from there.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Your players also have a lot of creativity. And
absolutely.
And so they can probably see and describe the scene a little bit. And if you've got new players, they may be tapping into something they didn't know they had. It's a beautiful thing.
One of my rules as a GM is I have to really justify and fight saying no when a player says something. Like, I will if I have to, if they want to do something crazy or something that's going to screw it up for everybody or whatever. But 99 times out of 100, if a player wants to do something, almost every single time it's yes. Mm-hmm. It might be yes, but, because it's like, that's a terrible idea, but I'll let you do it. Like, it may not work out for them, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, consequences.
Right, but I always warn them when there's like going to be big consequences. Because I don't know, I'm too nice a GM. Everybody lives almost every time. I'm not one of those TPKs.
Well, so like last night, I had my players playing a Thirsty Sword Lesbians game where they were trying to rescue one of their lost magical girl guardians who was in a demon plane, and they kept getting, it's powered by the apocalypse, so they kept getting a mixed beat. Mm-hmm. So they got a success but, and each of them had a success but. So first of all, sometimes in these emotional games, my goal is to make somebody cry.
Oh, really?
I love making people cry at my tables because that means they're feeling something and I'm doing something right.
Now that's a quote. I like to make people cry.
I do. You could put that on my tombstone. Nyx made me cry. And I was like, okay, you got the big bad to go back on the other side of the portal. You ended the possessions of the people around. But your lost guardian is choosing to stay on the other side.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And we had that little epilogue of, of all of them having to say goodbye again.
Nice. All right, that's good.
So it was very poignant. I made myself cry.
Right.
And everybody was like, can we play this again? I'm like, well, this story's done, but, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, there's so many good games out there that really invoke a lot of emotion, can be either sad or happy or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, what was that game that we played that is, like, it always ends in a catastrophe? We had the choke bot. No, remember we had it was Archer themed, and that one was Archer themed.
Oh, Fiasco.
Fiasco, yes, that's the game.
That was fun.
That is such a great game because I'm
just remembering everything that I would do.
It's
shame.
Right. It can. I mean, it can really.
For context, I was Pam.
Right. I don't even remember what the hell I was.
I think you were Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Well, we essentially did that. Yeah, we basically, yeah. That was funny.
We blended a lot of different genres together.
It was a good game. But there's the kind of games, right? So there's the kind of games that can invoke a lot of emotional stuff. I mean, I could see Fiasco. I mean, in the right context, it doesn't have to be funny. It could be tragic. Mm-hmm. Like, people could get feels, big time.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're not the type to do that.
We're too loopy at that point.
Right.
I'm going to be in a little bit running a game of Kobolds Ate My Baby, and that is, if I can make somebody cry in that game, I've done my job. But that's supposed to be a very silly game.
Yeah.
Because one of the terrible ways that kobolds can die is a cow falling from the sky.
Oh, all right. Well, what do you got coming? You got anything in particular coming?
Right now, most of my work is streaming on Twitch, so you can find me at twitch.tv/Resonant Moon. Mm-hmm. I do work and lurk streams. I do crafting streams. I do gaming streams.
Wait. Work and lurk?
Work and lurk.
Wait, I've never heard this term.
Okay, so when I work, I have lo-fi music on in the background. I've got a little idle game that people can play, usually like Kukuro or something. And we just co-work together. It's like body doubling. Most of the people in my chat are either also working or they're doing dishes, they're hanging out around the house, they're crafting, and we just hang out together.
So you're basically streaming working.
Pretty much.
Oh my God, that's wild. That's wild. I can't do that.
You can't do that,
No.
but I can.
Right.
And it helps me focus because I know that there's somebody there keeping me on task.
Right.
Because some of the books that I work on are not interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's when it's professional.
You know, when
gotta-
it's about economics,
Yeah.
it's hard.
When you got bills to pay.
Well, no, the book is about economics.
Yeah. That sounds pretty dry.
Yeah. The history ones are interesting.
Yeah,
You learn
I bet.
something. No, nobody listens to what I'm working on because that's not allowed. They just listen to the music and me babbling on.
Right. That's awesome.
So and in the future, I am working on getting people together to play these one-shots that we create. So we will have a play test day in the near future. So
All right.
check it out. Check out my schedule.
And that seems like a perfect thing to be able to stream, like do a group thing and stream it. That would be like easy to do with the one page.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that might even be a requirement. If you can't do my game online with a group of people, it's probably too hard.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll figure it out. So,
All right.
But that's what's coming soon.
Awesome. All right, Nyx, thank you.
Thank you. And catch you out there.